Right then guys, if you wanted the fluff, that was part 0, so now we are into the quest proper. So, into the quest proper, and into the woods, and into Fangorn. You've captured the orc captain Mugash in the mountains above Isengard, but as you make your way down Methadras, your captive escapes and flees east into Fangorn. Add the edge of the Fangorn to the staging area and attach Mugash to that location. Shuffle the encounter deck. Reveal X encounter cards where X equals the number of players in the game -1. So for me, none. Hooray. We'll have a look at the other 2 cards in a moment. I just want to finish the quest card. You pursue Mugash into the ancient forest to find that the trees themselves seem to be attacking him. Without thinking, you hack at the tree branches to rescue your captive. That is when you first sense your own peril. Time 4. Forced. After the last time counter is removed from this stage, shuffle Mugash into the encounter deck and advance to stage 3. Players can't advance to stage 2 unless Mugash is attached to a hero. So if we don't get him soon enough, he's gonna disappear. So 4 time counters. So let's have a look at the slightly sadder Mugash. He's guarded. Action, exhaust a hero to claim this objective. When this is free of encounters, attach Mugash to that hero. Forced. After the attached hero takes damage, return Mugash to the top of the encounter deck. Cool. So he doesn't force a hero not to ready like he did in his aggressive stance. And the Edge of Fangorn. 2 threat, 2 progress required. Immune to player card effects. Travel, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Horn enemy and add it to the staging area to travel here. More if there's more players. So given that that's obviously definitely going to happen because it's guarding Mugash, and it has victory points, so we're going to want to get rid of it. These are the 3 Horn enemies available in the deck, and this is a really weird enemy type, as we'll see, because them trees. Right then, so a Dark-Hearted Horn, 1 engagement, 2 threat, 4 attack, 4 defense, and 5 hit points. They all have this hinder keyword, which means that when it's engaged with the player, an enemy with the hinder keyword is not dealt a shadow card and does not make an attack. Instead of making attacks, enemies with the hinder keyword force players to remove progress from the current quest or the active location. At the beginning of the combat phase, each player removes 1 progress from the current quest for each enemy with hinder engaged with him. When there is no progress remaining on the current quest, players remove progress from the active location instead, and if there's no progress at all, you don't do nothing. So that's what hinder does. So they don't attack you, but they will remove progress, and forced at the beginning of each resource phase, the engaged player must raise his threat by 2. And those are some beefy stats. It's not easy to chop down a tree. Then we've got Deadly Horn, 34 engagement, 2 threat, 3 attack, 4 defense, 6 hit points. Hinder, cannot have attachments. You can't forest snare the Deadly Horn. Forced at the beginning of each resource phase, the engaged player must deal 3 damage to a character he controls. And the Angry Horn, 38 engagement, 3 threat, 5 attack, 4 defense, 8 hit points. Hinder, cannot have attachments. Forced at the beginning of each resource phase, Angry Horn attacks the engaged player. So he doesn't attack normally, but he will attack in that phase. So those are going to be my little darlings to choose from. I'll shuffle them into the deck. So this is going to be a threat-raising, big attack-dealing, progress-slowing slog. I really don't remember enjoying this quest, but at least it's different and original. So, let's see what starting hand we have. Honor Guard, Rivendell Blade, Silver Harp, Gladrim Weaver, Mythlord Sea Watcher, Honor Guard. That's an awful lot of tactics cards that I can't play. So I will mulligan those in. Mablung's Gondorian Shield really isn't as essential in this quest because apart from that one specific Horn who attacks, and there are some treachery effects that make Horns attack, defense really, like, you're not going to be attacked by enemies as much in this quest as you are in others. So it's a weird one. Right then. Okie dokie. So starting hand, Protector of Lorien, great card to have in your first hand because we're going to have loads of cards to discard. Elrond's Council, Gondorian Shield, Elven Light, Spirit of the Citadel, and the Eladris Caregiver. Might help, well, it won't help me, but it will help the enemies if we can grab a threat dial. So that's 29 threat to start us off with. Add 4 more cards. Oh, to the sea, to the sea. Amazing. Wingfoot, Honor Guard, to the sea, to the sea. Right then, and 3 resources. Okie dokie. So, first things first, Elrond's Council. Lowers threat by 3. That's pretty blooming helpful. And let's play To the Sea onto Arwen. Let's get a Gondorian Shield onto Mablung. I know I said we wouldn't really need it, but it would feel churlish not to play it because there are things that do make them attack. A Protector of Lorien onto a Restore. And let's exhaust To the Sea to play the Eladris Caregiver, which will cost us 2 cards. Spirit of the Citadel and To the Sea. And then that still gives us 3 cards to power up Protector of Lorien / a card to boost Arwen as well. So we need 9 progress here. Given that we are not going to be inundated with enemies, let's go Arwen, a Restore, and the Eladris Caregiver. Top card, Off Track, Surge. Attached to a location in play. Counts as a condition attachment with the text, limit +1. Limit 1 per location. Attached location gets +2 quest points and gains force to remove an additional time counter from the current quest at the end of each refresh phase, if able. Well, that's going to completely bugger us up. Next one, low on provisions. Each player must assign X damage among characters he controls, where X is the number of characters that player controls. Ugh, such a horrible one for my ally spamming deck. So I've got to assign 4 wounds. So that's 1 to the Eladris Caregiver, 1 to Arwen, 1 to a Restore, another 1 to a Restore. Right, but nothing else came out threat-wise. So that's 2 threat there. That's 5, 6, 7 from Elrond's Council. So that is 5 progress onto the quest. Now we've got some choices. We've got 3 cards left in hand. Now, I could discard Elven Light to give Arwen a resource, and then spend Elven Light to put it back into hand and draw another card. So that essentially would mean I'd have 4 cards, which would mean, because the question is, how much do I want to heal my wounds? Because obviously there's more of those treacheries in the deck. How much do I want to boost this quest? Because it needs 9 to finish and it's on 5 currently. Okay, I think I need to do healing ASAP, because if more of those quests, if more of those treacheries come out, I'm absolutely hosed. So I'm going to discard Elven Light to give Arwen a resource, spend Arwen's resource to play Elven Light, which lets me draw a card. Then I will discard 2 cards to add 2 to our quest. And I'll discard the other 2 cards to heal 2 wounds. So let's see, that's 1 off a Restore and 1 off Arwen. Then we will go to the edge of Fangorn. And that means that we have to search the deck for a human enemy. Now we don't want to be assigning 3 damage each turn, because that will build up pretty quick. So do we want to just go for one of the little ones, which means we have to raise our threat quicker? I think that might be the play. Right, so we'll engage the Dark-Hearted Huon, which will obviously engage us, which will remove a progress. And, you know, Mablung can't obviously do anything against it. So really I should have sent Mablung questing, but I didn't want something to come out the deck that was going to cause an issue. But that's probably an error. So thread up by 1, 4 cards, 3 resources, and, of course, threat up by another 2 because of the Dark-Hearted Huon. Cool. So, good news. Elrond's Council lowers that by 3. I really want these Elrond's Councils going around the deck, so I'll spend 1 resource for a Galadriel Weaver, which will shuffle Elrond's Council back into the deck. And because she's Sylvan, I can't use to the sea. And oh, I forgot to give Mablung a resource for engaging an enemy. Right, let's play Henmath. Henmath, what's coming, buddy? It's a Tangled Wood. While Tangled Wood is in the staging area, each forest location in play gains travel. Exhaust a hero to travel here. Ugh. But no more enemies. Can't play Skinbark. So, again, the question becomes, do I do my Elven Light combo? Let's find out. Let's see what the questing situation is like. So, I know that nothing bad is going to happen, so I'm just going to send everyone questing. Oh, we should have removed an additional time token. So everyone's questing. Tangled Woods is 2 threat. That's Mablung. Oh no, if we get to the next stage, something terrible could happen here. Oh well, live and learn. 3, 5, +1 for everyone's council is 6, 7, 8. So that's 4 progress, finishes the edge of Fangorn, which is a victory point. So that's removed out the game, and that gets rid of this horrible attachment. We have to exhaust someone to gain Mugash, so we can't do that. So that was 4 progress onto there. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 2, 3, 4 over. So that means that we finished into the woods, but we can't advance until we move on. Right, I need to get these numbers exactly right, because obviously the Huon is going to remove some progress. So we had 6 on there. 4 went onto there, so that was 4 more went onto here. So when he removes 1, we will still have enough to complete the quest. Okay, that's good, good, good. Right. So, I'm thinking then, we'll discard Skinbark to give Arwen a resource. We'll spend Arwen's resource to play Elven Light, and we'll discard both these cards to heal 2 wounds. Oh, Elven Light doing things. Damn it, that's good. Oh, and we'll travel to Tangled Woods. Right, end of the round. So that's 1 time counter removed, 1 left. Ready. Threat up by 1, and then up by 2 more. Oh, we should have removed 1 of those for hinder. That's Dark-Hearted Horns thing going, and then 4 cards and 3 resources. So we got Treebeard, Dwarven Tomb, which is Wood of the West, Wandering Ent, and another Galadriel Weaver. Right, Henmath, tell us what's occurring, pal. Or actually, no, Henmath shouldn't tell us what's occurring. We should grab the Tangled Woods now. So, a Restore is going to exhaust to grab Mugash. Keys grabbed, which means we progress to stage 2. So, stage 2. Escape from Fangorn. You've rescued Magash from the trees. As we just ignore this one tree that's like, threat. But you sense the forest itself seethes with anger towards you. The thankless orc struggles against you, and tree branches grasp at you. It's going to be a hard fight to get out of Fangorn with your captive. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck and discard a pile for a Huon enemy and adds it to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. And that's where we didn't use Henmath, because I figured something like that was coming. So after we've added that Huon, 12 progress, 4 time forced. After the last time counter is removed from this stage, shuffle Mugash into the encounter deck and advance to stage 3A. The players cannot defeat this stage unless Mugash is attached to a hero. Right, okie dokie. So we've got 4 time units, and hopefully we haven't quested yet. We've still got the Tangled Woods to deal with, but that's manageable. So that's 4 time. We've got no arrest store this days. Right, so we've got to add a Huon. Do we give a monkeys about the threat? Not really. Oh, do we add it to the staging area? Or, I believe, staging area. Right, so the threat of it does matter. You know what? Let's just double down on the threat increase, because we've seen our Elrond's councils really frequently. Okay, so we've got another dark-hearted Huon. Okay, right, Henmath, what's coming? An ancient forest. While ancient forest is in the staging area, each forest location in the staging area gets +1 threat and +3 quest points. Yuck. So that's going to be 2 threat added. Okay, right. So, what are we going to do? Well, it feels as though I have no use for to the sea, unless Elven Light can get me singing. So I'm going to use Arwen's resource to play Elven Light, which draws me another card. Oh, fudge. That's annoying. See, this powers me up for things I no longer possess, because Arrestor's tired, so he can't even quest. So I will discard Dwarven Tomb, which is really Will of the West, to put a resource onto Arwen. I will play the Gladrin Weaver to shuffle Will of the West back into the deck. And then I will spend 4 resources to play Treebeard. Alright then, questing Mablung, Arwen, Imradris Caregiver, and both the Gladrin Weavers. We know what's coming. It's the Ancient Forest. That's 4. So that's the 2 Gladrin Weavers and Mablung. So that's 4 progress, which is enough to finish Tangled Woods. We've got to go to Ancient Forest because it's going to make life impossibly difficult. So we travel there. At least there's no threat for the Dark-Hearted Horns to mitigate. So we engage. Gives Mablung a resource. We have nothing to hit them with. End of the round. Threat goes up by 1. Everyone refreshes. I discard a bucket of cards, which is really annoying. We gain 4 more threat from the Dark-Hearted Huons. Oh, I didn't actually shuffle the deck. Ah, damn it, I took that gamble. Oh well. Oh, the time counter's gone. I don't see us beating this time counter. One, two, three, four. We need a lot more quest than we've currently got. Ooh. Lindir, Wood of the West, another Wood of the West, and Rivendell Blade. Right, okay. So, resources, 1, 2, and 3. And 1 to Treebeard. Okay. So, let's use to the sea. Oh no, first of all, let's spend 1 resource from Mablung. I really should start killing some of these Hjorns. Yeah, spend 1 resource from Mablung to put a Rivendell Blade onto a Restore. Then exhaust to the sea, discard 2 cards to play, and 1 resource to play Lindir. I have less than 3 cards in my hand, so I draw up to 3 cards. Glorfindel, Guardian of Rivendell, and Quick Beam. So let's play Quick Beam and have him come into play with a wound on him, so he's ready. Definitely can't afford either of these, but we can use them for healing and they're not. So Henmath, exhaust, what's occurring? Heart of Fangorn, while it's in the staging area, each player cannot refresh more than 5 characters during the refresh area, during the refresh phase. Joys. That is bad. That is bad. So really, do we want to try a tree chopping down turn here? I don't think we're getting through this, really. So we know that 3 threat is going in, so if that's our win. The Galadriel Weavers can't do anything other than quest, so they're 2. I need 3 to finish. I can't send a Restore because I need the Rivendell Blade, really. So I could send the Imradris Caregiver and Lindir. Then what am I hitting these Dark-Hearted Hjorns with? I've got Mablung. I've got 3, 7, 9, 11, 13 essentially. They're 9 each. So, let's see. So I need 9 to kill one. So that would be Treebeard, Quick Beam, and Mablung would be sufficient to kill one. And then a Restore wouldn't be able to do anything to the remaining one by himself. Which means I am probably best, if I send a Restore, then I can discard a card to at least have a progress on there for future turns. I think that's the right idea. So send a Restore, reveal this, which means I get 5 progress on there, finishing it, and then 3 progress on the quest, 2 of which will be removed, but there we go. So then we have to go to the Heart of Fangorn. We can't leave that there. Oh, I have to discard a card, sorry, to give the extra progress. Then in the combat phase they remove 2 of those progress, and we hit them with Mablung, Quick Beam, and Treebeard, which is 9, which kills one of them. And with the last card we discard and we give Arwen a resource. Right. Everyone refreshes. I really don't see this going terribly well. Thread up by 1, thread up by another 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right then. The Welling Hall Preserver, the Protector of Lorien, the Galadriel Weaver, and the Silver Harp. So that's a resource for each hero, and 1 for Treebeard. Okie dokie. So, I really want to get that Welling Hall Preserver into play because he's an absolute boss. That will require me to use my ability, my Arwen's ability, onto Arrestor, which means she can't play a Galadriel Weaver. But I think that's ultimately a good exchange. Right, Silver Harp onto Arwen. Discard the Protector of Lorien, using the Silver Harp to put it back into hand to give Arrestor another resource. Spend Arrestor's resources and Treebeards to play the Welling Hall Preserver, which will also help with the healing. And I've got 2 cards then to power Protector of Lorien. Right, Henmath, what's coming, buddy? Oh, God, low on provisions. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. Ugh. Goodness. Well, it is, however, no threat. So, that's good. Do we try for another Dark-Hearted Horn murder turn? So, if we don't focus on the Dark-Hearted Horn, that would be 2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 progress, which actually wins us the game. Ah, alright then, well let's do that then. Mablon quests, Arwen quests, Arrestor quests, Quickbeam quests, Treebeard quests, Lindor, Imradris Caregiver, and both the Galadriel Weavers. Low on provisions. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need to do 11 wounds. Oh, best way to do this is actually just to get the wounds in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these hungry trees are eating everything. 10, 11 wounds. Right, let's start dishing out this candy. 2 onto the Welling Hall Preserver. 1 more onto Quickbeam. 1 onto Lindir. 1 onto the Imradris Caregiver. Can't put any onto Arrestor because otherwise we'll ditch Mugash. 4 onto Treebeard. And 2 onto Arwen. Rumbly tummies, but we need 3 to finish that. That's Arwen. Everything else is gravy. And we've done it. Well, that was anticlimactically easy. We hardly met any of the nasty Hjorns. I swear there is an event that makes all Hjorns attack you. Am I inventing this? Yeah, the Forest's Malice. Each Hjorn enemy engaged with a player makes an immediate attack. Yeah, which could have been devastating at the wrong point. Oh, wow. All 3 of those were in a row. Yeah, that would have been bad. Right, well, winner, chicken dinner. Fair bit of fluff to finish, but that's the way it goes. Right, well, I guess I will also show you stage 3 while I read it, because we didn't get a chance to see that, because that went really, 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 really well. Huh. That's just sometimes the way it goes with Lord of the Rings. As the trees gave way to the boulder-strewn grasslands of the mountainside, their spirits revived. The heroes had awoken the anger of ancient things with rotten hearts. They'd fought the crushing power of old roots and strangling branches, and they'd barely escaped alive. Now those horrors were behind them. The great orc, Mugash, was their prisoner once more, and after another 2 days of travelling, they finally descended on the winding path that led into the Wizard's Vale from the north. Orthanc greeted them coolly among the welcoming colours of the Vale's vegetation. So this is not the Vale's vegetation, but you didn't get to see the stage 3 card, so why not use that lovely art? Saruman was grateful for their help in capturing the orc, and his rewards were generous. The heroes spent the winter in Isengard, recovering from their ordeals in the mountains and forest. Yet, as the season passed, the heroes saw less and less of the wizard. He was often closeted with work in his chambers, and they sensed a growing frustration in him, as if results were not to his liking. Upon seeing the telltale sign of summer birds returning north in the high skies, the heroes felt their northward journey must resume. Over a rare dinner with the wizard in his high study, they told him of their plans to depart the following morning. Saruman seemed displeased. "My work is unfinished, my friends," he began as a servant refilled his goblet. The wizard sipped at the wine and continued. "The enemy is wise, and he remembers such secrets of old that even the elves have forgotten. It is of great consequence that we learn the depths of the enemy's measure and mind," Saruman continued. "It is with knowledge of the past, and in that powerful weapon of yore, that I perceive—" Just allow me to pause while I turn my book. "That I perceive our greatest chance." He took another sip, considering his next words. "Did the others not defeat Sauron and his masters before? Should we not seek the old powers of Beren, of Gondolin, of Numenor?" The wizard leaned forward. A hungry, eager light was in his eyes. "Of Isildur?" The heroes gleaned the flaw in Saruman's speech. If Sauron had truly been defeated, then how would he have returned to power? It seemed to them that weapons of the past had merely held the shadow at bay. They didn't voice their doubts, however, for the wisdom in Saruman's voice quickly dulled all qualms. Saruman continued his lecture. "I believe a long-lost place, one thought destroyed by the enemy, may have been uncovered in the hills of Hollin. It was among those hills that the great elven city of Ost-in-Edhil stood, and it was there that Celebrimbor and his apprentices forged legendary artifacts of good, unmatched in the world today." Saruman's back had straightened, and he seemed to glance into the past, as if he saw the forge fires of the long-dead elven masters. His voice became deeper. I'm not sure I can manage a deeper voice there, and his bearing mightier. The heroes felt, rather than saw, the secret light of the Astari pulsing from him like heat from a searing oven. "Is it not incumbent upon us to seek the tools and weapons of a better age?" It was not a question he expected the heroes to answer. After a few moments, his reverie seemed to recede, and, his gaze returning to the dinner table. "Word has come to me from the north. A dwarf by the name of Nalir claims to have found a hidden elven forge near Hollin." Saruman paused, as if hoping for a reaction from the heroes. When none came, he seemed slightly irritated. "Nalir is waiting in Tharbad, and desires to sell the forge's whereabouts for a substantial sum of gold." Saruman's intonation made it clear he valued the precious metal no more than the crumbs on his plate. "I believe this may be nothing less than the forge of Celebrimbor himself." He folded his hands, "and it may prove a vital link to past strengths." The wizard now looked at each of the heroes in turn. "I know you wish to return to Rivendell," he said, "and I admire your dedication to Gandalf's trifling endeavours. Yet I need your skills in exploring this place and procuring what it may contain." The heroes shuffled uncomfortably in their seats. Their absence from the north had been long, and the grey wizard's need was keenly on their minds. As Saruman caught their hesitation, the enticement of his words seemed to magnify. "My friends, I ask you most kindly, travel to Tharbad for me and procure the forge's location from this dwarf. Then reconnoitre the forge and recover its contents for me. Do this, and you may rejoin Gandalf with the blessing and eternal friendship." Saruman's shadow seemed to grow as he spoke, and the room felt suddenly small. "It is of great importance that I ask you to understand." There was a moment of tense indecision. Then the heroes, one by one, gave their nods. As the reluctance ebbed, Saruman relaxed. He smiled sweetly, greeting their acquiescence with a statesman's grace. "I knew you would not turn from duty," Saruman said. His words seemed to stroke them as a master's hand would his faithful dog. "With luck, your quest may help plant the seeds of a better age." It seemed their work for Isengard was not yet finished. And this will be continued in the Dunland Trap. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Bit of a weird quest there. But there we go. That's the way it goes sometimes. See you for the next one.